Caleb, it's loud where you're at. What's going on? Bam, we're live. Caleb. Oh yeah, it is Caleb who's loud.
Are you sure it's not me?
No, watch when he unmutes himself.
Oh, because the
Caleb, you're at the semifinals.
Oh,
yep.
I forgot about that. Our man on the scene.
What if we did a live call-in show tomorrow at 6 a.m.?
Okay.
Excuse me. No, not you, Caleb. You're good. What time zone are you in, Caleb?
I think I'm still in the Eastern time zone.
So that would be 9 a.m. for you?
Yep.
Won't you be like doing something by then?
I don't know. They don't really have me doing anything, but I could be at the venue probably.
Oh, that could be fun. Hey, how come you sent me a CFL shirt and it's the LGBTQ flag, and you have the blue? You get the masculine one, and I got the one that's the inclusive.
I thought you would like that one. It's good for your image.
I do like it. And I party.
That one has the better sleeve.
Thank you. Yeah, it does. It does look nice on me. I like it. Your dog's in here.
Your dog.
She's talking shit to me. I should have my dog. Don't worry. Don't close the door. It's good. It's fine. It's hot in here tonight. I was at the beach all day.
Good life.
Yeah. I think I did a podcast this morning. No. Yeah? No. Yeah?
Yes, you did. Yes.
Who did we do it
with?
Taylor Self, Ryan.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that one was hardcore.
JR.
Was it JR? I was going to say RJ.
Hey, we're so lucky this lady's
I don't know anymore.
JR Howell. You know, I'd heard Brian and Brian had been talking that dude up forever. So it was kind of cool to meet him. It sucked that his audio was all jacked up. But I am stoked about this lady who's coming on now, Kris Rugloski. I watched like 4 podcasts she's done, and she's easy. I'm going to predict this right now. She was homeschooled.
What's the conclusion you're drawing there? How'd you put that together?
I just think she's homeschooled. I can't. She's like.
She acts like Will.
No. No, you just fucked up my whole theory, Caleb. No, she does not act anything like fucking Will. Will shits diamonds. Will shits diamonds. Will shits diamonds. My goodness.
Pressure cooker.
This man, that thread is awesome. I love hearing his thoughts, just his ideas and thoughts on shit. Like when he gets passionate about something.
Yeah, he's not the guy you want to debate.
I like it.
Yeah, he might be Hiller's kryptonite. I
love that he's doing that.
Yeah, there's like, what's Batman have that's like his nemesis? Batman's just a regular human, right?
Isn't it just Joker?
No, I feel like Will would be more like the commissioner. You know, like they're on the same team, but they don't go about it the same way.
No, this isn't Hunter's girlfriend, for crying out loud. Wait, oh, I can't click it.
I thought my commissioner thing was good. I thought you were going to give me some love for that one.
Sorry, say it again. Wait, say it again. Wait, sorry.
I said Will's more like
nice one, Susan.
Yeah. Thank you for helping my ego out. So it's like they're on the same team, but they're going about their business just in different ways, you know?
I promise you guys that the next month, is the show ever dull? By the show, I mean just our ecosystem, our community. Isn't this fun? Someone who's like a real big shot in the community the other day, actually this afternoon, goes, what does it mean when all those people are posting all those bats? I'm like, oh man, you're so fucking February 2022. Like you just don't know. You don't know what bats are. It's like, thank you, Elise. Yeah, it's never. Look at the Liver King content and stumble upon this live stream. Thai City Garage. Peace and love. This fucking show just fucking moves, and it's just the drama is always there, and the fun and the narrative is always just nuts. It's good.
It's a good time.
Hey, Ty, do you take any of those supplements? What do you think about that cat?
Good question.
Do you just do the raw stuff? I've kind of been slacking on my meat eating raw. Anyway, we have to have the raw meat eating guy back on. The guy
I
who
was
was
just gonna say the note came up that he's getting close to 200 days.
correct.
We were a couple weeks out, so we need to get that. Was his name John?
I forget. Yes, it was John. He didn't want to give his name. Yes, good job. Tom Payne says, "Welcome, Thai City." Thai City, there are some trippy cats here like Dick Butter. Just kind of tiptoe around those guys. I don't know. They stumbled upon this. I don't know what's
Dick's
going on.
a good dude.
He's a dick. He's quite the dick. Today we have on Kris Rugloski. This young lady, it seems like she's exploded on the Hyrox scene. Oh, here she is. Look at, I see her.
Boom.
Ah, yes.
All right, I'm in.
Welcome.
Bye, Caleb. Peace.
Hi.
Peace and love, Caleb.
Kris.
Kris.
Hi, how are
What's
you?
up, girl? Good. I'm Sevan.
Nice to virtually meet you.
Nice to meet you. If we were in person, I would shake your hand. I don't have any people fear or virus or germ fears. Zero.
I'm on the same page.
Glad we got that over with.
And that's Mr. Matt Souza, the producer of the show.
Hi, Kris.
Hi, Matt. Nice to meet you.
Wonderful to meet you as well.
Dude, are you like, fuck, I just won the Hyrox. Can't I just party? What's up with all this media bullshit?
A little bit. It's been a lot, but no, it's fun. I mean, yeah, this is all new. It's still, I don't think it's really sunk in that I've won anything yet. So yeah, trying to handle all this attention is a lot.
Oh, you've been getting a lot of attention for, I typed in your name into YouTube and then I just started digging through all the podcasts you've done. And you're fucking killing it. Well, no, come on. You're killing it. You're easy. There's
anxiety level just went up.
There's whole podcasts where you carry them, where the hosts are all like nervous and shit. And they're like, "Hi, Kris." And you're just running the show. You're like, okay, I got this. Don't worry.
I've been on some, had some podcasts that I've really enjoyed and some that I haven't so much. So yeah.
The ones that you haven't is because why is that?
Because the interviewers, the people that are supposed to be leading it,
Yeah.
I found the biggest thing is they haven't looked into me at all. And so they like ask me questions and I'm like, if you like knew anything about me, you would know to ask a better question than that, I guess.
Right. Oh shit. Now the pressure's on. Okay. Well, I want you to know that I pulled out my biology book, my 10th grade biology book, and I have confirmed that you're a woman.
Yes,
so
I
we're
am
off,
indeed a woman.
We're off to a
we just don't want to get it wrong here on the show. So
well, thank you. Yeah. It's hard for some people to figure out, but yes, I am indeed a woman.
Genius. And you're 26 years old.
25.
Darn it. In your podcast 6 months ago, you said you were 25. I'm like, she must have turned 26 already.
No, I turned 25 6 months ago. So.
Oh, okay. You were just in Vegas.
I was.
And
first time in Vegas.
Seriously? Oh, hey, are you homeschooled?
I was homeschooled, yes.
Oh, you just inflated. We're gonna hear about this for a while. I see Caleb over there too.
She's weird and she's confident. There's this weird confidence that homeschool kids have. Like they don't know the shit to be afraid of. They don't.
That's fair.
Yeah, they don't know the shit to be afraid of. They haven't been picked on by enough kids. They haven't been had the weird teasing. And they've had to interact with so many fucking adults. Like you're telling the story about how you're running and you're talking to a 50-year-old man. I'm like, no 25-year-old normal girl talks to a 50-year-old man.
Oh,
they're weird. 50-year-old men are creeps. But when you're homeschooled, you don't know that because you haven't been programmed for that.
Maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, crazy. And I love the story. Now I'm just showing off because to make sure you know I did my research. I like the story about how your shoe fell off as you were approaching the final events. That's a great story. We'll get to that.
Yes.
Where were you born?
I was born in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Are your parents wealthy?
No.
Okay.
They were
how
there.
The fuck do they afford to live there?
Now that you ask, I'm not really sure. My dad was I think, no, I'm not sure because I guess Scottsdale's always been a wealthy place. I've heard Scottsdale has like a bad rap for being, the stuck up people.
Hey, I love it. My friends there are rich as fuck and they take such good care of me. I love those people.
Yeah. My dad had just finished actually a seminary in California and they'd moved back to Arizona. So Yeah, not wealthy. I was the fourth kid in and single income. So yeah, not on the rich side of things.
And when you say fourth, how many siblings are there total in your family?
There's 8 total.
Wow. Same mom.
Yes, and dad.
Wow. And you're the fourth, so you're right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Yep.
My dad went to seminary school.
Really?
Yeah.
Where at?
Lebanon, Beirut.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's yeah.
It was the only high school. It was the only high school you could go to, and so
really,
if the only way to get a higher education was to study to become a priest, I guess, right? That's what seminary school's for, to become a priest.
Yeah, priest, pastor, preacher, all those kind of things.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is starting to the pieces are all starting to come together. So is this
already?
I'm going to shift gears a little bit here. Is the nose ring some part of rebellion?
No. It was just something I wanted to do. My mom said she was glad I only got it on one side. But no, I wouldn't say it's a rebellion thing. I got it kind of later than most people who are trying to rebel probably would. It's just something, I liked it. I don't have any tattoos, so I've gone the piercing route instead.
Me neither. No tattoos either.
Me neither.
You don't either, Susan, right?
No.
Oh, wow. We don't have any. We need some deep pathologies. Hey, when your mom says she's glad you only got one, she means she's glad you didn't get this one?
Well, I think she's glad I did that one. She was just glad I didn't get it on both sides because I actually got it when I was not living in town. And when I came back to town, or I posted a picture, I guess, and she had seen a picture and thought something in the picture looked like I had it on both sides. And I think that would have, I guess, been over the top. I now have 2, but they're both in one side. So I think we're good.
Loophole there.
Do you have any idea what the thought is that comes before the desire for the piercing? So let me give you an example. A lot of people will ask loaded questions. So let's say I want to go out to dinner with Matt Souza here. Instead of just saying, "Hey, will you go out to dinner with me?" I'll say to him, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" It's like a loaded question. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
These are thoughts that come up before the action. Do you know what the thought was that precipitated? Is that a word?
Preceded.
Thank you. Preceded. Homeschooled. Preceded the nose ring.
I don't know that there really was a lot of thought. I feel like they probably don't carry the same the same like concepts that they used to. Like I think it used to be a different
precipitate cause to happen suddenly, unexpectedly, prematurely. Okay, all right.
So I think they used to have a really bad connotation, and I don't think that's really around so much anymore. So I don't think there was a whole lot of like, oh, if I get this, it'll, portray me a certain way. It was just kind of I started getting more ear piercings, and then I didn't like my nose for the longest time. So I was like, I would never do that. And then I kind of changed. I was like, you know what? Maybe I would like it. So
fuck, I'd kill for your nose. I'd fucking kill someone for your nose. I didn't say that out loud, did I? Oh,
please
shit, sorry,
me.
Caleb. That was an accident. I hit the space bar.
Don't catch him doing something weird back there.
Wow. You didn't like your nose. What could you possibly not like about that little nose?
I have no bridge, so I can't wear sunglasses because I
don't
have anywhere. All it is my little stub, and it turns up at the end, so I feel like I look like a pig.
Can you look sideways for me so we can judge the shit out of you? Wow. Okay. Someone just said that there's something called Asian goggles, and they're goggles that are specifically made for Asian people so that when they go skiing or scuba diving, it seals because Asians, their skull doesn't have a bridge on their nose. Is that what you have? You have an Asian nose?
I wouldn't say I have an Asian nose, but I guess it kind of is
same structure.
I definitely have no Asian ancestry, but
do you have any Asian goggles? Do you own Asian? Okay, here we go. Asian fit goggles, also known as universal fit or low bridge. Yeah, it's probably not okay to call it Asian fit anymore for some reason. As universal fit or low bridge fit goggles have an extra layer of foam lining to perfectly fit faces. Do you own a pair of those?
I do not. I was actually told I had a different. I was told I have like a black person nose, is what my sister always said. So
Hey,
on the other
she's
side of
wrong.
things-
Racist. She's racist.
It's definitely not a classic Caucasian nose, I guess. So
I
one
think
or
you
the
look
other.
like the lady from when I was a kid. There was a TV show called Bewitched, and she would wiggle her nose and shit would happen. Like she could turn you like into a donkey.
So that's why you want my nose.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of that show? Have you heard of that show before?
I have not. I have not heard of many things.
Fuck you, Souza.
Classic.
That lady probably has grandchildren who are 25.
I was like the in
Probably.
between.
So you so you're born in Scottsdale. Your dad is he a teacher at a church, a priest, a deacon, a pastor at a church?
He was a pastor for several years when I was a child. Kind of took a break from that to raise his family, I guess, and went into surveying, land surveying. We moved to Texas when I was 8, and he actually started his own surveying business and ran that for 10-ish years, maybe 10, 15 years. And then he sold it, and he actually now lives in Thailand, and they're doing mission work over there. So
Wow.
he kind of
Wow.
came full circle there.
Was he an engineer also?
It's kind of in the same field as engineering. So possibly.
Yeah.
I know he works with engineers a lot, but the surveying side of things is definitely what he pursued, I guess.
Did you get into that? Can you do that?
I did some jobs with him, plotted points, and we would kind of do stuff around buildings. I was going to start learning AutoCAD, which is basically where they take all the points from the field and put them onto their what do you call it? They plot everything, put it into their
Computer, into their whatever their program is, right?
Yes, yeah. And I started learning that, but quickly it's not really my thing.
Yeah, it's some geeky shit.
Yeah, and I'm not. I'm more of a just like do, not think.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny you say that. So when you said that, when I said, why did you get the piercing? And you're like, I didn't think. And then sort of when I hear you talk about your sports career, I mean, I'm like this too. Don't mean this in a negative way at all. You're like Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump is my biggest hero. So that's the biggest compliment you could ever give me.
Yeah. You're like a Labrador. Like you just see a tennis ball and you're going to get it.
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah. The Labrador. Kris, the Labrador. Rugloski. Kris, the Labrador Rugloski.
Almost batting 1,000 tonight.
You heard it here first. Tell me the age of your youngest sibling.
My youngest sister is 13.
And your oldest?
He is going to be 32, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. I have mad respect for my mom, but I don't know how she was having kids for 18 years. It's an 18-year spread, and I have no idea how she did that.
It really is amazing. Do any of your siblings have kids yet?
My older sister has 2 kids. That's the only one.
Wow, man, your family is going to be. I mean, it is huge already, but it's going to be amazing. How old are your parents?
They are 55.
Holy
My
shit!
mom's 55. So.
They're kids. They're still kids. Do they train? Do your parents train?
Like train other parents or train athletically?
No, train athletically.
Oh, no, they don't.
No.
My dad played ice hockey and soccer, I think, in high school / college. He stayed active and fairly fit. I think with his surveying, he did a lot of the field work. So has always spent a lot of time out.
Ah, okay. Well, thank you for coming on the show. You're a lovely young lady.
My anxiety level went up so much because my biggest fear is accidentally clicking somebody off. You know?
Button?
Yeah, and we both rushed to it.
Is there a button that does that?
Yeah, if you hover over it, you hit that remove or the ones to the side. But
it looks like she's trying to come back on.
Yeah,
but she can't. I almost think someone should we kick her off so she has to come back on again?
Yeah, let's do that. Are you gonna do that? Oh,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
all
Oh,
right.
bye. She's done with you. She could be. I'm telling. I think I may have overwhelmed her a little bit. I mean, she's been so just on point in the other shows, but I think Sevan, quit dropping the F-bombs. Okay, fine.
I don't even notice him anymore. That's probably bad, huh?
Fine. Call-in show. No, not call-in show.
No.
Tomorrow. Yeah. I think tomorrow
yeah.
we're going to do an early call-in show, like 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
We could go at 6:30.
Maybe she got a little confused because everyone else is asking her about like where she buys her tennis shoes and how fast she runs and does she have calluses. Okay, good. Thank you. That's all I needed to hear. Cheese and crackers. Thank you.
Here we go.
Right. Well, we got some while you were gone. We got some feedback. The crowd is saying no more F-bombs, Sevan. I think they realize you're a solid. So Sam Cop says quit dropping F-bombs, Sevan. Okay. Bruce says instead of saying I should say cheese and crackers instead of the other one.
Maybe not. I'm not really
Okay.
sure what the.
It's when you use the Lord's name in vain when you're blasphemous. Okay.
Yes.
I thought it was cheese and rice.
And Elise says you're having fun. Okay, good. Because I was like, we were speculating that you hung up because I wasn't asking you about foot calluses and what kind of shoes to buy, and instead I was asking you about your parents.
I think I got kicked out. I don't know. It just dropped. I tried to come back in, and then.
Well, the second time you came back in, we kicked you out. The first time, I don't know what happened. The second time we kicked you out because you kind of came in halfway, and so we thought maybe you were stuck, like like if you were climbing in a window. So Matt pushed your head out and said, "Try again." Oh, did we lose her again?
Oh, she's frozen.
Oh, darn it.
Uh-oh.
Caleb, what do you know about Hyrox? She is so she is so accomplished. We haven't even gotten to the good stuff. She should give anyone this story that she has should give anyone hope that the impossible is possible. She really is a remarkable person. Let's see if she's still frozen.
Should we take her off the screen maybe while she tries to get back in? Is that the nice thing to do?
Oh. Kris, if you can hear us, I'm booting you again. I kicked you from the studio. Oh, nope. Someone else booted you. Okay. One of the first people that freezes and is still cute. Wow. That's a great observation. You're right. So Will's gonna, yeah. Will's going to take a screenshot of that.
Shit, I did it too.
She should be in its to the 22 games. When you comment as much as Bruce, you can have some errors like that. It's over. Call Danielle. Savage.
Oh. Well, hopefully she internet connection.
I actually will text Danielle tonight and bug her. She needs to be bugged.
Is she competing this weekend?
I'll bug. I bugged Sarah because Yami said that we should have Sarah on. I bugged Rich and Angelo, his boy toy. I bugged him.
Angelo recently had a day in the life come out. Did you see it?
I did. Hi, how are you? Hello?
Is this a call-in now?
Hello? I don't know what's wrong with the call-in. Hello? Hello? I wonder why he's not. It's not linked up. No, sorry.
Couple technical
difficulties. Wow, I just I'm on the call-in phone. I just got an exposure notification.
Exposure
to COVID. No, thank you. I'll pass on that option.
I got a COVID community fact checker thing on one of my posts. It was a story that I had posted way back when. And it was when all those fake Elon Musk tweets were going around, when it was now that I bought Twitter, I'm going to buy the CrossFit Games and bring back Dave Castro and do this. Did you see it?
No.
It was hilarious. But yeah, Instagram then marked it as false information. This tweet is fake.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. It was pretty funny. There was a couple funny ones. Also
part of the top 5 hottest. I don't know what that means.
Okay, Alan, simmer down.
Wild. Oh, here we go. It
looks like he's lifting a dog in that photo from this angle.
Here we go. Kris, hi.
My back.
You're in a dark room. You turn the lights off.
It says, let me see.
Hey, whose fault do you think this is? You think it's your fault or our
I think
fault?
it's mine. My
Oh,
phone
good.
is as old as the hills.
Of course, she
Oh.
takes ownership. She's a winner. She's a
my
winner.
phone is as old as the hills, Kris says. And that's why you don't drop F-bombs around this young lady. While you fix your camera, I want to say to you that what you have done is pretty amazing. And I'd like to get to the bottom of it. You basically claim that you didn't even really run until you were 20. You're 25 and you won Hyrox. You don't claim to be strong. You kind of fancy yourself, I think, to be more of an ultra runner, which is like the 100-mile range. And yet you did this thing called Hyrox. The community that you're kind of dipping your toe in by coming on this podcast is the CrossFit community. It's like almost so many CrossFitters listen to this show, and there's almost no respect for anyone outside of the community. We think everyone's just a bunch of, I can't say it because you're because you're a pastor's daughter, but that community has earned the respect of CrossFitters for sure, and it's where a lot of CrossFitters go, I think, to express their fitness, so that they don't just sit around the gym like knuckleheads. Oh, look at how cute, Kris Rugloski in a dark room. Caleb, did you do that?
Yeah.
Money. God, this show's good.
I saw it. I saw it.
Prettiest guest we've ever had on, but you will not be allowed to look at her.
I did not realize that this was live too, so that's interesting.
Oh, it's quite the crazy show. Okay, sorry. They said one of our listeners is trying to sleep, so I need to lower my voice. Fine.
I'm not sure how to get my camera to work.
You want to try? I'm seeing if I have any buttons here that I can.
It
says that it's enabled. I had to switch to the laptop.
Oh.
It says that it's enabled. And I'm not sure.
If Joel Salatin can figure it out.
I think his assistant did that.
Yeah, that might be true. That might be true.
I need an assistant.
Hey, are your parents do they homestead in Thailand?
They do not.
Did they homestead in the States?
They kind of tried. We all wanted dogs, and my dad was like reluctant to have pets that were not productive. Productive was the big focus. So we had goats and chickens, and those were the preferred animals. But we never really made it as far as like homesteading.
Yeah, that's how I feel about plants.
You want productive plants?
Yeah, like if you're not going to get I have 4 redwood trees on my property, and like I feel like I'm going to go to hell if I cut them down. That's why I don't cut them down, because they're kind of like soldiers. But other than that, everything I plant is just fruit trees. I just can't see like planting trees. Like I had some maple trees here, and they bug me. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I mean,
okay, so
also,
say it again.
It says that the camera and microphone is allowed.
Okay.
It's a good first step.
What about settings? Are you on a Mac?
Yes.
And do you know? Are you familiar with the settings? That thing in your dock, and it looks like a gear. System preferences.
Yes. System preferences.
And then don't hit update now.
Displays? No, it wouldn't be display.
Sound. How about sound? No, not sound.
Probably not sound.
I don't see a camera, but I don't see a camera icon.
Sound is good. I mean, it has a little video on the browser, and it says that continue allowing it to access it.
When you do that, something pops up.
Yeah, that's me stopping the cam.
Oh,
interesting. Okay. Maybe we just do it without looking at you. Oh, what a tragedy.
I mean, that would work too. Maybe. I even Googled, and Google wasn't much help. So,
Beaver, do you have any recommendations for her? Any thoughts?
No, it's kind of the same thing we did this morning with JR.
Success.
Hey.
And now she's muted.
Okay, there we go.
Great.
Figured it out.
Hey, who fixed it for you?
This is a borrowed laptop, and there was actually a piece of black tape on it for privacy that I was not aware of.
Ladies and gentlemen, 29 minutes into the show and the show starts. Okay, let's get down to business here. When you were a child, you were born in Scottsdale, Arizona. What was the first sport you played?
Nothing.
No sport.
No sport. Yeah, no, nothing.
Okay, tell me why. What happened? You were only allowed to play with your siblings?
It just wasn't really it wasn't something that I think it's not something my parents really pursued a lot, like in their growing up. And so it wasn't something they really thought about encouraging us to pursue. They did play, my dad liked soccer, and he had my two older brothers were like in a little kids soccer league for a couple years. And then my younger brothers were actually in a soccer league, but the girls kind of missed the boat on that one. We never played any sports. I played a lot of backyard volleyball and basketball and like, I guess, family soccer. And that was it.
So all of those things, that soccer, that volleyball, those were all like stuff you just did with the family hanging out together.
Yeah, or with my sister. Yeah.
And in a typical day when you were growing up, you were in Scottsdale the whole like first 18 years of your life?
No. Not long actually. We moved to a river valley like an hour north of Phoenix when I was a baby. So we lived there until I was 8, and that we were in a neighborhood that the river like ran through. So it was I feel like a lot of Arizona is considered like very arid and like deserty. This was not that. We had all kinds of trees. We had like blackberries in our backyard. We had a big grapevine. So it was a really like cool kind of spot to, I guess, be like an early childhood. And then when I was 8, we moved to Texas. So I would say I spent more of my life, I guess, in Texas.
And where in Texas?
Just north of San Antonio. So San Antonio area, about 40 minutes north of there.
And a barefoot childhood?
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Barefoot, pastor's daughter, 8 siblings, homeschooled.
You could be like a psychic.
7 siblings. Sorry. 7, 8 altogether. 7 besides you, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Good. And a fantastic listener with accuracy when it comes to the use of words. Thank you. My favorite kind of people. So when did this? So then you got into horses. How old were you when you got into horses?
I'd always wanted to be involved with horses, but they were definitely far too expensive for our family. We had friends that had horses, and we would see horses every once in a while. So I always liked them, but it wasn't until I was right about 18 that I got a job at a horse barn kind of down the road. That was one of my first jobs. When I started working there, I didn't even know how a horse halter, like the halter that goes around their head, I had no idea how to put that on. But I showed up and I was like, I want to work, and do you have any work for me? And I want to work around horses. So.
And did you know anyone who worked there?
No, I just called and asked if they were hiring.
Yeah. Just to like, hey, this is what I want. This is what Forrest Gump wants to do, and I'm doing it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Hey, that picture right there, is that on the Gulf?
Yes. That is south of Houston.
Okay. And is that where you ended up doing most of your work with horses?
No, that's where I've been for the past 4 years, but I would say most of it was in that San Antonio area. I worked several different barns around there, and then I actually moved out east for several months to kind of try to pursue it on a higher level. So yeah, that's just where I've been for the past 4 years, and I've made a couple friends with horses, and I get to ride whenever I get to.
And when you say you tried to do it on a higher level, you mean taking care of the horses, raising horses, sort of being a horse expert, or actually riding horses in competitions? Yeah,
competing. It's actually like a Olympic sport called eventing, where they it's on the English riding side of things, and they combine like 3 different disciplines of English, turn it into a 3-day eventing. And I kind of made some connections through a barn that I worked for in Texas, and I had somebody that's kind of at the top of that field kind of say, like, you could be really good at this. Here's an opportunity to go pursue it on the East Coast. So I went out there to try it. And I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of work. It's a whole different world. But I found very quickly you have to have a lot of money
and a lot of experience in that world, like a lot of background in it. This is it. I used to wear those little outfits.
And when you say a lot of money, the people I know who are into this game, it's crazy. Like they fly their horses on airplanes and shit.
Whoa.
And yeah, it's like absolutely batshit crazy money. They got like horses that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they think their horse is a cheap horse.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, like, it's really, a lot of times you think like, oh, well, those are just like the top horses, but that really does play a huge factor in it. Like it's very hard to get a cheap horse and kind of like start from there and build it up to a good horse. There's these horses that are like bred into it, all these top dollar horses. And there is a huge difference between kind of like trying to make your own or getting a nice horse.
So that's what you pay for, is the trainer training them up to that level. That's like what's going to
and you train, you pay for the pedigree, like the way the horse is bred, who its owners or who its parents are, like the breeding and all of that breeds very specifically into this.
Wow.
So,
like, hey, I got a smart Jew horse, or I got a dumb Armenian horse. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's good horses that they just train good.
Yeah. And it's
train good.
I mean, you pay for the pedigree, and that pedigree like says a lot about them. Like it does play into it a lot.
God. I when I think of horse people, bear with me here, and cat people, I just think that they're crazy. You know what I mean?
I mean,
like all the
dog people are pretty crazy too.
I mean, if you have a dog too long and you don't have a kid, then you start those people start to get a little weird. You know, like the 40, 50-year-old woman who's got like 3 dogs, shit starts to get a little weird. But I guess especially the people who can't afford a horse. You know what I mean? Like you only make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. Like you're only a 1%er, but you're trying to keep like 3 horses on a ranch, and you're like, those people are crazy, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it can get. I think animals.
They get weird. They're all weird.
Anybody that tries to put too much weight in animals, like they're animals, and they are pretty fickle at the end of the day. And it's kind of, that's one thing that I kind of found, is horses are they're very powerful animals, but they're such animals of prey, and they are so finicky, and they can get hurt over the littlest things and like put them out of their career. Like, and it's just one of those things, like if I were going to invest in something, it would not be horses. It wouldn't be animals in general. Like, I don't know. I put a lot more stock in people.
Wow, good. It's like we have this guy on the show, Alex Stein, come on, and he's pretty wild and eccentric, but he's a cat guy, and like he's the most eccentric guy. But every time when he's on the show, like 3 different cats come to his lap, and he's like petting them. And I'm like, yeah, of course you have 3 cats. Do you own any animals?
I don't. I was always like a dog person, so I've had 2 dogs. I had like a dog as a child, and then I had a dog for several years, but nothing now.
Yeah, your career probably doesn't traveling around the world, running your ass off isn't conducive to having a pet.
No.
So then at 20 years old, you somehow, when does the transition come from having all of this attention on horses to running? Were you ever into running? What's the longest you'd ever run before you were 19 years old, let's say?
I've done a 5K. So part of my dad owned his own business, and through the Chamber of Commerce, they would do like a local 5K every year, and he would get some free entries. And so once a year, he would be like, hey, I've got some entries. Which one of y'all want to run? He's like, if you want to run, you have to run at least once, like, so I'll run. So I'd run a 5K. Yeah, definitely not.
Okay, so so your parents are still married.
Yes.
You were homeschooled. You had the Lord in your life, and no cell phone. Wait, listen, people.
Rules to success.
Listen, yes, all these idiots who write these books like 5 Secrets to Success. I shut up.
We've got it figured out.
I'm learning. I have 2 5-year-old boys and a 7-year-old boy. They're in big trouble after what I'm learning from you. They're not getting a cell phone until they're 17. They're going to be better than you. Okay, and so you what happens during this transition from horsing to whatever? I don't even know what you do now. I just know you won that Hyrox event, and that event's nuts. And you were on the Spartan show, right, where you got to fight the girls, and then you were on the Titan show.
Yeah.
we have to talk about that show too. We have to talk about Kenny. Did Kenny not explain to you how to pull that ball ahead of time?
I had never. It was a very heavy ball, and I'd never tried.
Did you
anything
see
like
the way
before.
that girl that almost lost you the event? Did
So
you see the way?
I
Okay,
will
go
say
ahead.
too, I was in the way the show went, I was like the third episode or something, but me and that girl were the very first two people to try that. So we
Okay.
had no idea what to expect. A lot of the girls that came after were able to like decide what to do. So we had no idea what we were doing. I'm not a strong person, especially at that time. I was a kid and had no idea. Like, I did not work out hardly at all. I was brand new to all of it. So I was not even strong. Like, I was not prepared for that at all.
That's interesting you say that. And that seems to be this crazy theme that you're not strong, but you can get stuff done. When you wrap the chain around your waist, The Rock said, oh, that's a good move. But that other lady just grabbed the ball by the neck where the chain met.
And you notice she didn't pick up the
sledgehammer.
Yes. And that's like, none of us had really figured out, do you need to carry it so it won't get dragged over? Do you need to not? Like, so it was a lot of like, we didn't really know what to do there. I felt like I needed to hold the sledgehammer. If I dropped the sledgehammer, I probably hopefully could have done a bit better.
Well, you still won.
I did still win.
Hey, how old are you there?
20.
Yeah, so it's interesting you say you were so young.
20, I was 21.
Because the pictures of you around this time, you look so young, but like they really dressed you up, like they covered you with makeup and stuff, and like you look like I didn't even recognize you. As I'm watching this, I'm like, is this really her? I had to keep like looking up at your name.
It's my stunt double.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm dressed up, it's probably my stunt double.
Kris Rugloski.
Mm-hmm.
Rugloski, like rug.
Yep.
Rugloski, not Rugloski.
No, Rugloski.
Go ahead, Matt. Are you listening? What's her name?
Rugloski.
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 And they called you Christiana on the show.
Yes. That is my full name. I don't really go by that. And I did not want to go by that on the show because I just don't go by that. It's hard to pronounce. People have a hard time saying it. They ended up calling me Christina half the time, which is why I go by Kris, because Kris is just easier. But they said that there were too many Krises on the show. So a bunch of people had to go by their full names.
We're going to change your name.
Only one person got to go by Kris.
You're not going by what you want to be called.
Oh, this is fascinating, man. This podcast is all over the place. But right now, Kris is impressed. She's like, okay, they're at a B+ for research on. So is this, Caleb, what are you running the show from the back? You're just bossing me around of shit to talk about? You just go ahead, Caleb, go ahead. You push that up there. I want to ask her about this. Fine. This, when I Google your name, what is one of the things that comes up? Is this like your race history?
This is most of the ultras I've done. Ultra sign up is kind of the big platform for a lot of ultra races. This is one race history. The other one would be Athlinks. Athlinks is where a lot of the race results go.
Okay, Athlinks.
Athlinks. A-T-H links.
Athlinks. Yes. Okay. Okay. We'll come back to this in a second.
Absolutely.
So you are 18, 19 years old. You've run a couple 5Ks with a few days of training in your life. You've done some backyard volleyball. You spent some time on a horse. Where does this, what happens that is ultra where you step into this field that's now just kind of broadening? Tell me about that transition.
Yeah, it started with OCR, with just your basic Spartan races. Tough Mudder was actually my first one. I had just seen like a lot of my friends doing them, and I was like, these look like fun. I want to try it.
Wait, what friends? You don't have any friends.
I had some church friends. So.
Okay. Fair.
So I made my sisters come do it with me. We did a Tough Mudder, and I was like, this isn't that bad. It's kind of fun. It's just kind of running through the mud, and we actually ran it barefoot because we didn't want to get our shoes dirty. And then I did a Spartan because I had heard they were more difficult. And then Spartan was the one that kind of got me in with their trifecta. They have 3 different distances. And if you do 3 within a year, it's like a trifecta. So I did one, and then I decided to do the other 2. And in doing those other 2, I found that there was like a competitive side to this. I did no training leading up to that. I had no concept of training. I had no concept of anything. I didn't really enjoy running. I actually like gained a lot of weight as like a late teenager and had done a couple runs where I was like, running isn't even fun. Like I'm chunky, like this isn't enjoyable. But doing the obstacle course races, I found I was like, these obstacles are fun. I'm not half bad at them, just because they take a certain amount of just like body awareness. And then I was kind of like, I'll do the running in between, but I'm here for the obstacles mostly. I found out about the competitive side, and in one of my first, I guess it was my first race that I ran elite. I went up to this was near the end of trying to make it in the horse world, where I was realizing like really can't make it in this.
How old are you? How old are you at this point?
I was 20.
Okay, and were you living on the East Coast?
Yes, I moved out to Virginia for the horse.
Oh, and that's where you were going to church because you didn't have your siblings, so you attended a church out there to make new friends.
I went to church all growing up.
Okay, fine. But when you land in the East Coast to do your horse world, you find a church the same way like someone finds AA, like a good Christian girl like yourself finds a church.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
That's kind of the only way I knew how to make friends at the time, I guess.
Understood. Yep. It's a good. I'm not knocking it. It's just foreign to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So coming to the end of that horse thing, realizing like so much depends on the horse, which is so like not in my control. So the Spartan really appealed to me or the Spartan running in general is like, this is all on me. Like I can do well and it's all on me. So I went up to Canada to do my first elite race and actually podiumed there. It was not a very stacked race. Like
what year was that?
2017.
And where did you cross the border?
Niagara Falls, Buffalo.
By car? By car?
Yeah. Yep. And I actually did not have my passport. I forgot my passport.
It was 2017 then. Things were different.
No, I'm telling you, Canada's always been a fucking disaster. Sorry. Strike that word from the record. Sorry. Darn it. Canada has always been a bit of a rough challenge for us Americans to cross.
They just made me, they searched my car and took the, I had some like,
of course,
pepper spray in there and they took that. So I had no way to defend myself.
No self-defense.
You see how the show just takes all these weird turns. Now we have to, who gave you the pepper spray? I mean, we're so far off track now. How did you get pepper spray?
Was it on your keychain? Was it a keychain one?
No, I'm not even totally sure how I ended up with that.
They must have loved that answer. And Miss Rugloski. No, Rugloski. Oh yes, Miss Rugloski. We noticed you have some pepper spray. Oh yeah, I don't know how that got there. And what about this gun in your glove box? Okay, so we don't know how to
They said if it was bear spray, I would have been fine. But since it was pepper spray, they had to take it.
Bear mace is cool, but pepper spray, not so much.
Yeah.
Hey, the picture on bear spray is amazing, isn't it? Do you know what picture I'm talking about that's on a bear spray bottle? Have you ever seen that picture?
Oh, the bear is like right next to the person?
Yeah.
Like right in front of him?
Yeah, and the beam of spray is like covers the entire bear.
Have you ever shot it? It comes out like silly string.
No.
I never have.
Yeah. If you shoot bear mace, it comes off like silly string. It doesn't work on the bums here in San Francisco. So they use that shit on like their fries for seasoning. So
why were you shooting bear spray, Souza?
That's for a live college show. When we get
all
back
right. Okay. Tomorrow,
ask
Souza about live bear spray. Okay. Bear spray. Okay. So you crossed the border. Is anyone in the car with you?
No. And I had to leave. My dog was a pit bull mix, and I had to leave her at home because they don't allow bully dogs there or pit bulls at all. Yeah.
So you had someone watch your dog for you in the States.
I left her at the barn that I was working at.
I can't believe it was 2017. You weren't 17 years old and you crossed the border with no passport at Niagara Falls. And what kind of car?
I was driving my Xterra. I had a Nissan Xterra.
Wow. Good on you. There's no way they would allow this cross the border without a passport.
No.
I
guess.
They, when I go there, they're like, and how many years did you serve in the Syrian army? I'm like, Syrian army? It's crazy. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. It's funny, but I'm not joking.
I was worried about getting back into the States. Yep, that was it. It was much older than that.
Oh, yeah. How did that go? They were probably great. This is a great country. This was a great country.
getting back into the States, I was kind of like, I don't have my passport, but like I went up there for a Spartan race and I showed them my little trophy and like, oh, cool. Like, I think the Border Patrol at the time was actually like Spartan, sponsoring Spartan. So they were like, oh yeah, that's cool. And they didn't
We're
care.
sponsored. Come on through.
Wow, go figure. The last 2 years, no one in the U.S. government could say, hey, if you stop eating sugar and fucking exercise, you'll be fine. But Border Patrol sponsors the Spartan race. I guess they do what they can do. Okay. So you go, so you go up there and that's your first elite race. You know what I'm finding interesting also is that you, coming from the CrossFit community, I always just assumed that they were all like super competitive. But the way you're describing Spartan is it's really just like, hey, everyone come and just move. It's more like community oriented, and that the racing is kind of the hidden element that you only learn about as you get further, like the hidden menu at In-N-Out or something.
Yeah, I would say their big draw is to the masses. Like, come try this, come do this, and you definitely have to like find that top elite thing. Which I find like it's kind of interesting in a way. I'm not sure if it's really like, I wouldn't say it's really good for like the sport of OCR, but Spartan is great. Like, and their concept in general is fantastic. Like,
did you have any? Did you have any suitors when you were there? Did you have a boyfriend when you were there on the East Coast?
So funny, I actually kind of moved out to the East Coast because my boyfriend in Texas had not worked out. And I was like, I want to get out of here.
Oh, he had what? He had what?
He like went back to his old girlfriend. It was
oh,
nuts.
Wow. This is amazing. So check this out. If you were a guy, I would know you went to Virginia to be with a girl. But since you're a girl, you moved to Virginia to get away from a guy. This is fucking brilliant. Life is so simple.
So
this is I mean, you get this, Sousa? You see this? This is like
patterns emerging. For
yeah,
sure.
yes. Okay, so Gump runs to Virginia. Okay, wow.
And while I was there, I actually downloaded Tinder for 2 weeks for the only time I've ever had Tinder.
That's not appropriate for a young lady like you. Just so you know, I don't approve that. Okay,
and
so
the
let's.
Goal was here's the deal. I wanted to make friends. I wanted to meet people, like local people that knew things to do, places to go, and
you wanted them to be hot.
And well, no, I wanted like, I also found like people are more likely to hang out with people if they're attracted to them on some level, have some level of interest. So I was like, you know what, like they're using me, like they're doing this because they think I'm attractive. So I'm going to use them a little. So I did a little bit of using for
Get it, girl.
some meals and hike ideas. Like, and this was I was trying to get like into hiking. I was like, there's trails, there's things to do. So yeah, I had.
Wait, you would hike with the guys? You would hike with the guys? Weren't you afraid of like the classic lifetime stories? That is, they go hiking and you go missing.
I didn't really know about those a whole lot, so I wasn't too worried about it.
Dude,
Two, I figure I can hold my own.
Ooh,
nice. She could either beat him up or run away from him.
It was before Canada took the pepper spray. She was good.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized I had the mute on the phone when Mars called in earlier. Wow. What? And then you ditched the Tinder.
Yeah. Oh, that was not my scene.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I've never seen it before. I'm too old to see it. But like from what I know, it doesn't seem like you're seeing it. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of people on there who didn't get a cell phone until they were 16 and grew up barefoot.
There's not a lot of intelligent conversation to be had.
So
a lot of people.
So are there? Did you have especially what? Sorry.
Especially Tinder.
Yeah. So were there any suitors back there on the East Coast? Did you end up with a boyfriend over there?
No, definitely not. I was tapping into my like, I'm just gonna live my own life. Like, it's good. Me and my dog road tripped around. I did a couple of those Spartan races, and then my job at the horse barn ended. So I just kind of everything into my car and kind of drove around for like a month out there, hit up some races, visited some friends, and then eventually made my way back to Texas. But I was on my own.
At this point, has Hyrox popped on your radar at all?
No, this is 2017.
It wasn't even around.
It didn't come out until 2019.
Yeah, or I think you're right. I interviewed Christian Tutska the other day.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. He invented it in 2018, and then they even had to take like 2 years off because Hyrox caught the COVID, and it was sick for 2 years.
Yeah.
We all got the COVID.
That's what happens to vegetarians. What's your diet like?
It's not like anything special. I mostly eat whatever. I think I grew up on a very good diet, so I had like a healthy
Foundation.
Yeah, that. I will eat anything, whatever, anytime, but I value the whole concept of like real food as opposed to processed food. So I would say I try to eat a majority of real food, but I will definitely eat some pizza and ice cream. So I'd say it's kind of 80% really good, really healthy, and then 20% is whatever. Yeah, but it is nothing special.
Do you avoid anything? Let's say you went to you were driving cross country and you stopped at a Jack in the Box. Would you take out? What would you order there?
I wouldn't stop at Jack in the Box. I don't really do fast food. I would stop at Chipotle or maybe Subway. I don't know. I just rather it like doesn't taste like real food to me. I had a Jack in the Box burger last year once, and I will say like it was pretty good, but I just know it's full of so much trash. Like I'd rather not.
Yeah. Did you get sick?
No.
Okay. Did you feed it to your dog?
No, just me.
What was your dog's name?
Her name was Montana, and I got her like as a puppy in Texas, and I always planned to take her to Montana. Yeah, and I just liked that name. I was like, Montana it is. Didn't make it to Montana with her. I did the day after.
You weren't scared at all to go to Canada by yourself and enter the race? Like by scared, I mean just like not like scared of like harm, but just like nervous, like, oh, this is going to be all on my own. I'm not going to have anyone to run with, things like that.
Not at all. I actually drove up there. I didn't have any service on my phone, so I had to like screenshot maps and like try to find my way around. And I found I'd rather just kind of sleep in my car than try to find a place to stay and pay for that. So I actually found a graveyard like not far away from the race venue. I was like, nobody's going to bother me here. So that's where I spent the night. And then the next morning I drove over to the race, and I actually made friends there, Canadian friends. And
in the graveyard?
No, at the race.
Okay.
At the race. At the race. So
I found other people hanging out.
A small tribe of vampires.
Yeah.
We're friends now.
And 2 zombies and a werewolf.
Let me turn this light on really quick because it's getting dark in here.
Do you have a boyfriend now? Sorry to just obsess on your relationship history. I'll leave you alone in a minute. Do you have a boyfriend now?
Let me turn the light on, and the answer to that is no.
Wow, it's crazy.
Why? She's focused on her career and
I know, but like
races and.
But like she doesn't eat at Jack in the Box. She doesn't have Tinder. She walks around barefoot. She likes to sleep in her car. I mean, she's like some dude's like dream. It's like
I actually
you need to meet some guy who's filthy fucking rich, but he's just like fuck you. Oh, sorry. He's like bye to my family, and he's just like 2 years living in his car, and you don't know he's filthy rich, and you guys are just hanging out for 2 years, just dirt twirling, and then all of a sudden he's like, "There's something I have to tell you. My dad is actually Ronald McDonald, and you guys live happily ever after in a cloud somewhere." You know what I mean?
I actually made a lot of mistakes on that front, like several years ago, and so I'm a bit like just over a lot of it.
Yeah, stand back, and you're doing stuff.
Yeah, I'm busy. Nobody can keep up.
Yeah, and that's the problem with being great like you. No one is going to be able to keep up. You're moving. You're just a freight train that's going down the road. I mean, anyone who I don't even know if we're going to get to how amazing she is. You just Google her. It's Kris Rugloski. Rugloski. You have to. Oh, there it is, right there. You have to Google. It's just too much. She's done too much already at 25. It's nuts. And as a CrossFitter, you'll be so impressed. She is not stuck in any lane. She's just exploding out. The fact that you won Hyrox, the world championship, is nuts. That shit is not easy.
No.
Did you go there planning to win this year?
Definitely not.
Wow.
I thought I could do well. I thought I could hit top 5, but I was definitely not planning to win.
Are there events there like this one that you're like, yeah, like I'm not made to do this. I'm not prepared to do
a lot
this.
of it. A lot of it is how I feel. Yeah, or I feel that way with a lot of it.
Is your perception of yourself changing? You do say a lot in interviews that you're not strong. Is that changing? And in your 100-miler group of friends, you must be a tree trunk compared to them. They're all sticks, right?
Yeah, in some ways. I say that I'm not strong because I'm not a strength athlete. That is not my focus. That has never been my focus. That's not my goal. That's never going to be my goal. But so that's why I say, like, when I'm not strong, like, I'm not the girl that walks up and like my shoulders are popping off, like, you know, where I just look strong. I think now I look a little bit stronger, but I look more like a string bean than like a muscle mass.
But it's changing. Your body composition. How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
Okay, so you're tall. And how much do you weigh?
140-ish.
Okay, so that's still a little small. I mean, relative to the crew of gals that we roll with.
Right, exactly. So I think I'm just well built. I have like a very.
I mean, that's a great size. Don't get me wrong. That's great.
Yeah, and that's why I say, like, I'm not a strength athlete. Like, that's not what I like. That's not my skill set. But my goal is to be like a good athlete and an all around person and athlete, and obviously strength is a component of that. So I do a lot more strength work than runners do, but I do like nothing compared to what strength athletes would do. So I feel like I'm strong enough, and that's my goal.
What did the other girls look like? The top 5 finishers. What did their bodies look like at Hyrox?
At Hyrox,
Yeah.
their muscles have muscles. Like they're.
Oh,
well, okay.
okay.
Actually, I will
really?
say the second place girl is a little taller and more slender.
Okay.
Linda Meyer from Germany, I think. And I guess also in Hyrox, the early leaders were very strong, thick, more, I guess, bulky people. But myself and Linda kind of definitely came in the second half where that endurance kicks in and that muscle.
When you say second half, you mean second half of the specific race, like the second half hour, or are you talking about the second half of like in 2022?
No, the second half
of the race.
this
Okay.
race.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was not leading to start with. I was not leading at all. Okay, to start with, I led because it was a run, but I did not lead for a little while after that.
How many times have you done that race?
This was my 5th time. Technically 6th. I did do it twice in one day last month, so I guess 6. But this is my 5th individual.
You did. So for those of you who don't know, this is basically, this Hyrox event is basically anywhere from the fastest times in the world or 1 hour and some change, and the longest time in the world is 3.5 hours, which is just nuts because people give all the credit to these people who finish it really fast, but just imagine being out there and working for 3.5 hours. That is nuts. So kudos to those people too. But it's basically run 1,000 meters and then you do something like wall balls or pull a sled, and then you run another 1,000 meters and then you do something like push a sled or lunges with a bag on your shoulder, and then you run another 1,000 meters. And this goes on for 8 rounds. So you end up running 8,000 meters and then you do these 8 workouts, and it finishes with 100 wall balls, and then you cross the finish line. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know. So tell me about the circumstance where you did it twice in one day.
Well, it came to Dallas last month, and I had a friend that was wanting to qualify for Vegas that hadn't qualified yet. And you can qualify either solo or double. And then if you qualify as a double or a solo, you can kind of switch it around within that, but you have to qualify. So we decided, like, let's run doubles and get him qualified. And then I did a solo on my own to try to re-qualify. Yeah, which I wish I had done it in the opposite order. The opposite order, it would have been great. But so...
How did you place in Dallas doing it in that second time?
I got first, but I didn't. I was wanting to get a qualifying time to re-qualify back into World Championships because I
getting first there didn't re-qualify you.
No. Hyrox is based purely off of time, so you have to have one of the top 15 times. And I'd gotten the top 15 time in Chicago in January, and then other people had bumped me out of that top 15. So I was trying to get back into the top 15. I ended up getting back into the top 15 because people had dropped out and weren't able to make it. So I kind of like eked my way back to that top 15.
Wow, this is a crazy story.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
You won the World Championships, but you're a fill-in.
Pretty much, yeah. I was seated 12th.
fill.
I was the 12th. 12th of the roll down. I mean, with all the roll downs included, because there were, I think, like 4 or 5 roll downs.
And what's fantastic, and just so everyone knows, if I'm right, also the lady who won last year, it's not like it was an easy win for you either. The lady who won last year was there, and she took 12th.
Yes, she's 8 months pregnant, so that's
What?
like, yeah.
Who are these people running this race?
She
That's
is
crazy.
absolutely insane, like on another level.
Hey, what's
I mean,
her
she
name?
has-
We got to get her on the show. What's her
That's
name?
insane.
Lauren Weeks.
She's fucking
Yeah,
nuts.
she got- I
Caleb,
think
can
she
you
got
pull up her
10th.
Instagram?
I
10th?
think she got 10th, so she wasn't even like last place.
Wow.
After
she
2
is-
people popped for EPO, she took 10th. My
She's
goodness.
literally, yeah. I think she was like a day away from 8th place or something.
You don't even know what EPO is, do you?
Not really.
Yeah. It's one of the it's in scripture. It's in scripture. You ask your dad.
Okay. She's
Um,
the 2 times world champion.
Let me see. I want to see her belly. Let me see a picture of her pregnant. Hey, does she have
There.
any other kids already?
Nope, this is her first.
Are you friends with her?
Yeah, I've met her through Hyrox.
But I mean, would you text her? Do you have your phone number in her phone?
I have her phone number.
Wow, that's good. Okay, so she's your friend, and so it's not nasty.
Oh no.
But she is
no.
going to come back next year and try to crush you.
Oh, she's gonna try.
Yeah.
She's the current like world record holder, and she's the 2 times women's champion. Like they've had the championships for 2 years now, and she is the reigning champion.
How about that one dude who's there? The really weird guy who always wins it all. What's that guy's name? He keeps coming on my show. He's been on my show like 5 times. What's his
Hunter?
name? Ah, yes.
He got the new record time at Dallas. So we actually both got first in Dallas last month, and then
He's not human.
no, probably not.
Yeah, he's like Superman. And did you get a chance to hang with him?
A little. We're like sort of friends, but
Do you have
Not
his
a
phone
lot.
number?
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, shit.
I
I love
stayed at
him.
his cabin once too.
What?
Yep. On the way, we were both on that Spartan show, so he actually like picked me up from the airport, and I stayed at the cabin life.
I don't mean to show off, but he offered me and my family to stay there this summer because he's going to Europe.
You should definitely take him up on it.
Is it that cool?
It's a cool spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my family.
We want
would
you to
love
know
it.
you guys are equal friends with Hunter. So
I'll be spending the summer in Newport Beach. But thank you, Hunter. Are you familiar with Newport Beach?
Not especially.
Oh, are you a beach girl at all? Do you do any beach stuff?
I've lived at the beach for the past 4 years, and I have found through that I'm not a beach girl. I'm a mountain girl, 100%. I
No
could do
kidding.
without the beach. I like
don't
riding on the beach, and that's it.
So you don't like to go there and play frisbee or lay out or drink or none of that stuff or run sprints or
Not really. There's so much sand. Just not about it. I'm a clean person, and that sand is just.
it gets
not my
everywhere.
you are not a clean person.
I am. When I was living in my car, I took regular baths and showers in different bodies of water. Like I stay very clean.
Different bodies. I will say this. I will give you this. You may be very tidy. You may be organized. You may live a simple and healthy lifestyle, but I suspect that there's dirt under your nails right now.
Okay, there's always dirt under my nails, but unless they're short enough, they're short enough.
No,
I
I'm
actually
not.
I get a
I'm
lot
not-
of crap from that. Okay.
I'm not trying to get her phone number. I got a blue check mark. I'll just DM whoever the fuck I want. No. I was just like it's a metric to see if she's friends.
Swinging
Yes.
that check mark around again.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
that,
So
Kris? He's got a check mark.
That's a
Nash
big
Quinns
deal.
was Lauren Weeks pregnant? Yeah.
Apparently, she was like barely pregnant. She didn't even know she was pregnant. But
I thought you
think
said she was 8 months.
She was 8 months for Hyrox World Championships. Spartan Games was like 6 months ago. It
Oh,
all
she
filmed 6 months ago. So.
Wow. And that's been released, right?
Yeah, it just
Like-
came out like last month, but it all
Yeah.
happened months ago.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. How did you do in that?
I got 4th.
Wow, congratulations. When I was watching you on one of the podcasts, you guys were critiquing like some of the problems there, and I don't know when this has started happening. Maybe in CrossFit, the athletes are really like this year. It's really gotten big that the athletes are like, and I've been partaking in it, critiquing the events and the event organizers and shit. And I just feel like that's all kind of new. That shit used to never happen. Like athletes just shut up and work. But now it seems like okay for like athletes to be like, there wasn't enough water there. That was single elimination.
I think
And,
it used to be better organized and more reasonable, and now it's just all over the place. I don't know. That's what I've seen in Spartan, at least, where, especially, I mean, the Spartan Games was a pretty iffy, like
dangerous iffy.
No, just like poorly thought through. And like there were people would say like, well, you know, they'd ask a question trying to like clarify an event, and they would kind of be like, oh, that's a good question. Like, we'll think about that. And I'm like, it was very much like, did you even think through this all the way? So it's just one of those, I don't think anybody was trying to be like nitpicky or like, you know, but it was just asking questions to clarify or questioning things to clarify again. Like, wait, like, help, you know, explain this. And there was very much like, oh, that's a good thought. Like, we hadn't considered that.
We hadn't thought of that.
Puts a lot of doubt in people's minds. Like, wait a second.
Yeah, you need someone. You kind of need someone assertive in that position. Let me ask you this: one of the things you said is that if you come, I've never seen one of these Spartan races, but it's basically you run and then there's an obstacle course like monkey bars or climb under barbed wire or some shit like that, right? Some stuff like that. But if you can't do it or something fails, you can do 30 burpees instead. Is there a penalty that comes with that 30 burpees?
The 30 burpees is the penalty.
Okay, but what if the event is longer than 30 burpees? Could you just choose to do the 30 burpees?
Yep. They make you have to make contact with the obstacle, and then you can go do 30 burpees. So that's where a little bit of like strategy, like if you know you can't do it, just go do 30 burpees.
Can you win the event like that?
If you're good enough, yes.
Oh, wow. So you can
Like
just show up and do 30 burpees at every obstacle, blow through it, and
okay, not every obstacle, but you could do burpees and still win. Like burpees at maybe 1 or maybe 2.
Like why the obstacles are quick? I mean, because you could do 30 burpees in less than a minute.
It takes me a minute and a half or 2. This is like in the middle of a run, so you're in the middle of a run.
Okay,
Yeah.
So you're fatigued, right? It's not
And
just
then
do 30
after
and
you do
just
30
like
burpees, you have to bring that 30 burpee fatigue into the rest of your race. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. How long are those races?
It depends. I mean, Spartan has like 3 different distances. They have like a 3 mile, 6 mile, and a 13 mile.
Wow.
So the 3 miles right about 30 to 40 minutes. The 6 mile, I mean, depending on the course, 6 miles, you know, between an hour, hour and a half. And then the 13 is typically 2.5 to 3 hours.
How many of those have you run? From 3 to 13? How many of those have you done?
I have no idea. I've definitely lost count.
20?
Probably 30. I'd say 17, 20, 30.
And you just chase those around the country?
I haven't chased Spartan a whole lot because they're not a big fan of their race in general. I'm not a fan of the burpee thing. I think that's ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I don't think it has its place in like competitive racing. So there's other series that I've done that you have to like burpee or obstacle completion. So you can try the obstacle as many times as you want, but you have to complete it and hit the bell to continue on in the race. And I prefer that. So there's several other
I think I prefer that too.
Yeah, I much prefer that. So I've just done like local Texas Spartans for the past 4 years, I guess. And then a couple here and there. And this is my first year, like actually chasing their series. So they're I think it's their North American series. They've kind of put priority on like 5 different races. And that brings like more competition. They put more money on them and you gain points per race. And if you want to try to have the most points at the end of the season by placing well in each of those races. So that's now I'm following Spartan, but I haven't in the past.
Well, so why, is it because of the prize money? Like, so basically you don't like the 30 burpee thing. And yet this year you've doubled down on your efforts why are you doing that?
It's the prize money some, but it's also the competition.
Okay.
I haven't really considered myself at the top of the field for the past several years. And it was just, I started kind of racing some more top level athletes last year and kind of realized like, you know what, I should put myself against the best and see how I can do there. So.
And what other ones have you done? How many Tough Mudders have you done?
I did that one, I think in 2018, they put money on their 10-mile like competitive. So I did 2 of those, I think, and those are the only ones I've done.
And how many? I'm not sure if I'm using this term right, but is ultra marathon? Does that mean 50 miles or more?
It's anything over a marathon distance. So your
Okay.
shortest distance you normally see is 50K, which is right at like 30.1 miles.
And how many marathons have you run?
I've run no official marathons.
None.
Wow.
Yeah, none.
What was the longest distance you've ever run? What was the first ultra marathon you ran? How long was it?
The first one that I did was a Spartan Ultra Beast. So it was their version of it where they basically, that 13-ish mile one, you'd run that course twice, and that makes it 26 to 30 miles because their distances used to be a little more iffy. So that was my first one. I was 0% prepared, and I didn't actually almost die, but I felt terrible. It was probably too soon to do that, but I did. And actually,
what year was that?
This was end of 2017.
Wow.
So
crazy.
I found out about it. I came back to Texas. First 15 miles, I felt fine. As soon as the second 15 miles started, my like hip flexors locked up, and every single step hurt. Like I was in pain for the entire second 15 miles.
Why not tap?
Because I knew I could do it. So I was like, it might take me a long time, but I can do it. So I don't know, maybe I should have tapped, but I didn't. And I ended up getting third, just because I don't think there were a lot of people running it. But I ran very fast, like the first 15, and then I bombed second. But.
My mom ran the local 5K and took first place in her age division, and then like 10 minutes later, she told me she's the only person in her.
Yeah,
That's
the nice thing about getting a little older. It's not as much fun.
I was like, I think it was in Benicia, California. She ran a 5K or a 3K or a 10K or something, and it was so funny. She was the only person in her age division. But how many races do you think you've done in the last 5 years, including Hyrox, ultra marathons, Spartans, running from the cops? How many races do you think you've done?
Probably close to 100.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts. How many times have you run 100 miles?
9 times.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Is that the farthest you've run is 100 miles?
There was one that I did last summer in Wyoming, and it was 115 miles. 111.
What's that one called?
It's called the Wyoming Range 100, and it had 30,000 feet of gain throughout the course, which is a lot Leadville only has, I think, 17,000. So Leadville has almost half of that.
So just so you know, when you say 30,000, that's basically 15,000 up, 15,000 down.
No, that's 30,000 up, and there's downs in there too. But that's the 30,000 feet of up gain.
Crazy.
Wow.
It was wild. Yeah, that one took the longest. And
what's the highest elevation you reached there? Do you know?
Right at, I think, 10,000. It was kind of like between 8 to 10.
Goodness.
Yeah. And it rained and hailed for 12 hours, and even like there was snow at the top of the last ridge line. I was like, this is crazy.
Hey, do you have a crew for that?
I don't always have a crew, but I did have 2 friends that came out. I had a crew and a pacer. So my pacer joined me at 80 miles and ran the last like 30 with me.
Holy cow. How did you do in that?
A lot of people dropped out. So I got 2nd female and 10th overall, I think. It started with 40-something people, and I think 17 people finished. So.
Wow.
You're always so honest with those stories. Like you don't have to. You're just so honest with them. You're like, hey, a bunch of people. I took 2nd, but 37 people dropped out. Or I won Hyrox, but I didn't qualify, even though I took 1st place, and I was actually 12th down on the list.
I'm just being real.
Just being real. I've never met anyone real. Kris.
We love it.
It is May 18th, and I've met a real human. 50
Rare breed these days.
First real human. Where are you right now? with those
I am
1970
in
cabinets?
Colorado Springs.
Okay.
I am, staying with friends here for now.
All right. Are you there for a race?
Nope. I moved here like 4 weeks ago, and I haven't like found a house yet, but
No.
I live here now in the greater Colorado area.
Wow, everyone's moving there. Why'd you move there? Why don't you stay in Texas?
Because in Texas, I lived at like 0 elevation in a soup pot. Like it's just very humid and very hot, and it's flat as a pancake and 0 elevation, and none of that really like was something I wanted to be in long term. So
The running community is hardcore, right? The ultra marathon, just all that stuff over in Boulder, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I was just
Everybody's
there the
there.
other day, and every dude is like built like a sheet of paper. I was just there a couple weeks ago.
there's a lot of runners there.
Yeah, a ton of runners. Crazy. There really is a uniqueness to the dudes there. They're just different. That's the nicest thing I can say. They're different.
I actually went and walked around downtown Boulder for the first time yesterday, and everything up there is a little bit different.
Yeah, everything is a little bit. They're like, okay, stop, Sevan. Okay,
Reel it in.
You go to Hyrox, and when you cross the finish line, do you know that you've won at that point?
Yeah.
And are you tickled?
I realized I was going to win probably like a minute before I actually won, so I was still kind of like, wait, that just happened. It was wild. I still like.
So with 20 wall balls left, you're like, I'm gonna win this.
It was I was right at like 20, 30 wall balls. I was like, okay, I think I actually do have this.
Was the other girl on the wall balls yet?
Yeah, she was on the wall ball. She was about 10 behind me, and I'm decently good at wall balls, but I'm not like the strongest ever. And I'd heard that a lot of these European girls are really good at wall balls. They'll go unbroken, like all of that. So
I was gonna ask about what were your sets in that 100? Do you remember?
I did 25, and I took a quick break. And I had a 10 lead, and she dropped it down to 8 for on that break.
Mm-hmm.
Then I knew I could do 25-ish. I think I did 15 on the next set. Took a little break, and then I came back and got pretty much up to like 60. And then it was right at 60, 65. I took my last break, I think. And that's where I was like, all right, we're just going to finish these out.
So you did the last 35.
Yeah.
And can you hear how many where she's at?
I was hearing some. So I kind of knew she was 10-ish behind. She started taking, at first, she didn't break when I did. And I thought about going more than 25, but I knew like more than 25 is really going to burn me out and would probably like make my, my next set slower, short or whatever. So I stuck with my 25, and then I think I was like 10 into the next set, and she took a break. I'm not sure how she actually broke it up, but she was taking enough breaks, and her breaks were longer than mine. So
it's a 14-pound wall ball?
Yeah.
To a 10-foot target?
I think it's 9 foot.
I apologize. When I asked you that last question, I didn't hear your answer because I was looking at a text from my wife. It says, Avi says your guest is hot. Avi's my 7-year-old son. And Ari, my 5-year-old son, wants to know if you babysit. Well, okay, good job, boys. Solid work, gentlemen.
The 3 studs.
So can you hear with their count, and can they hear your count? I apologize.
Yeah.
You can. Wow, that's cool. I mean,
and
that's
the
good,
announcer
right?
is saying it really loud. Yes.
Oh,
so
awesome. I love it. That's
and
a
then
sport.
I was also right next to her. So I could see her speed, and I heard them say something about like, she's moving faster. And I was like, nah, I can move faster than her. So I made sure to like keep up the same speed as her. But she was taking the best way to catch a wall ball is like right in front of your head and squat down like that. And she was doing a lot more of like the catch, like in your chest / your gut. And
Hey. I'm a CrossFitter. How dare you try to educate me?
He invented the wall ball.
I invented my tribe invented the wall ball.
I've been a coach for the last like 4 years, and so I've seen a lot of people do it wrong, and I've tried to help people a lot.
So she was catching it and like cantilevering over. Did you yell at her? Hey, chest up, bitch! Oh, sorry.
Oh, no.
Chest up, young lady.
Why don't you let it land every time?
Yeah.
Do it in singles.
Just do the bounce and catch, tuck under. How strict are they on that hip crease going below parallel? Now I'm just
Very
showing
strict.
off.
I
Yeah,
got
okay.
no repped, and I'm not even sure what I got no repped on. I think I wasn't going low enough. I normally go low enough, so I was a little bit unsure, but I definitely, my mind kind of went somewhere else, and he started yelling no rep, and I was like, oh, better make sure. I think it was because I wasn't squatting quite deep enough.
I tripped on this one that I watched. It wasn't this one, but it was another one. And Hunter had I guess does your judge stay with you the whole time? From the
No.
moment the rate. So at each station, you switch judges that are particular to that station.
Yeah, pretty much.
There was a judge there on some race I saw, and they handed him the ball.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. They'll normally, I mean, especially in like your normal race, all of the other waves will go earlier, and the women's open weight is lighter. The men's open weight is the women's pro weight. So there's different weighted balls there. And there's been some times where, actually the one that I won in Dallas, the girl next to me, her ball was too light. She grabbed the ball that was too light, and nobody like noticed it until it was all done. So
Do you think no one's listening? Do you think she noticed it?
I don't know.
Good answer. You're a good dude. She's a good dude. Of course she didn't notice. I put a 6-pound weight vest on my son today.
Yeah.
He only weighs.
That's a big percentage of his weight.
Yeah. He's like 49 pounds. He was doing
He's a stud though. He could lift no problem.
He was doing jumping bar muscle, and I put the 6-pound on him. He goes, too heavy. He knew right away it wasn't the 4-pound vest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's watch some. Here we go. Is that this weekend?
Yeah.
Wait, did you get those shorts from CrossFit Mayhem? Froning gave you his old shorts. Those are Froning's old underwear right there you're wearing?
Nope. Those are my chicken leg shorts. That was it.
Man, that's a beautiful setup they got at Hyrox. That is so cool.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Yeah.
You took a picture with Rich Froning I saw on your Instagram somewhere. Caleb, I think I got a link to that. How did you even know who he was?
I did I won his competition that he does out at his Legend of the Falls. He puts on a competition. I think he's done it a couple years now, but I went out and did it.
Is that the charity one for foster kids?
Possibly.
Was it in Cookeville?
It was in, I think it was in like Alabama, actually.
Huh. He's a great guy, isn't he?
Yes.
Just so you guys know, who you're listening, Rich might come on the show tomorrow morning, but you're going to have to get up early to see him.
I've heard he doesn't like to lose, and I found out that he does not like to lose.
He does not. Did you beat him?
Yeah.
I would have never had you on the show. This is blasphemy. You have someone on the show beat the great Rich Froning.
And I beat him at his own race.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Beautiful.
What do you guys think of that, huh? In the comments, what do you think of that? Beating up on our boy. Kris Rugloski beating up on the great Rich Froning. Crazy. Do you have any rivals in the sport? Or any of, and when I say sport, is there anyone else doing what you're doing? I guess Hunter kind of does what you do too, right? He's just kind of exploring this like, hey, you got to get your body from point A to point B, and there's going to be some shit that tries to stop you.
But he doesn't really venture into the ultra running.
Right. Sissy.
No. Yeah, he does not.
Yeah.
He's too big. He's kind of bulky.
He could do it. He's just scared.
Yeah.
That's
is there anyone else doing what you're doing?
Not really. There's some there's a little bit of crossover with like OCR and ultra running. And there's also a little bit of crossover with OCR and Hyrox, but you typically don't see the OC. I feel like OCR is kind of the middle ground, and you will typically find people that either go the ultra direction or more of the Hyrox direction.
Are you like a big deal when you show up at those events? Does everybody know you there?
Mostly not. At which events?
Okay.
Any of these events.
At OCR, I know a lot of people, and I've done the events enough. A lot of people know me. I've met a lot of people in them. Ultra running, definitely not. I am a nobody there.
Do people take pictures with you with their kids, like little girls and stuff and little boys, and they're like, "Oh, can our kids take a picture?"
I have found a lot of parents will want to take pictures with me, dragging their kids around, and their kids couldn't care less, and they will either want to like get a picture or like throw their kid in a picture, and their kid is like, "I don't care at all." I've had to kind of do like, "Hey, let's get the whole family in." Like, that might be cool, maybe. And they're like, oh, right. Like my kids exist. So I don't think kids care at all. But yeah, people are, it was the Titan games, I think, kind of put me on like a lot of people just recognized my face pretty early on, I guess.
Did you get
How do you go ahead, Matt? Sorry.
I was just gonna ask her if she got to hang with The Rock. Sorry, super.
I didn't really get to
Lame
like
question.
hang with him, but I met him and we did chat some, and he hugged me twice. So
He hugged her tight. Like soon as he hugged her, I was like 1,000, 2 1,000,
Let
3
it
1.
linger.
Jeez, Rock, easy, buddy.
You let it linger.
Yeah. Hey, how you claimed that you were weak as a bird at that point, but yet you got. How does that happen? How did they find you for that? How did they recruit you for that?
I have no idea how they found me, or I have no idea. So I got on there. I really don't know how I got on there, except that I had a friend that said, back when they were like accepting that, they put out that they wanted out, people to apply, whatever. And a friend told me that he had talked to a casting director and they were really short on females. So he was like, you should apply, like, just try to get in. So it was literally the night that their application was like ended. I like filled out their whole thing. And at the end, they want you to like put in a video with like an introduction and talk about yourself, whatever. And I was like, I don't have anything. But I had a video. I've been a nanny for years and I was a nanny at the time. So I had a video of me like just playing with kids in the backyard, basically. So that was the video I put on there because you couldn't submit it without a video.
Dude, they say what was that last thing you said? Before I just rip into you again, just abuse you. You take the most abuse of any guest. What was the last thing you said? There's something you sent in a video of you playing with kids in the backyard when you were a nanny, and then what?
Yeah, that was the only video I had of me doing anything.
Hey,
the only video that existed.
The other video submissions they got are like girls in bikinis, like pole dancing and just crazy. That's like 90%. Like was just like stuff you put on Tinder. And you're like, well, here I am filling a bottle up, and she's like,
no, I was
I
was doing like a handstand walk in the backyard.
Okay. Oh yes, handstand walk with who did you nanny for?
This was a doctor in the town I lived in, South Texas.
How old were the kids?
There's a 3-year-old and then twin 18-month-olds.
Wow. That's like that. That's like what I gave my wife. I had my wife make that for me. I have a twin 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. She made those for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Twins
great. Oh, it's unbelievable. And were they Asian?
They were Middle Eastern.
And do you what Middle Eastern branch?
India. Possibly?
India.
Yeah,
okay.
They like had lived in New York, and then ended up down in South Texas.
How are you doing? Oh, nice to see you, Kris Rugloski. Oh, nice to see you. Come sit down, have a bowl of rice with us.
I think they've been here for a few more years than that.
Oh, okay. Sure. Okay. I am the CEO of 7-Eleven, and this is very inappropriate. My dad. The reason why I asked if they were Asian is because my dad was also in the seminary, like your dad, and I am Middle Eastern. I'm Armenian, but I nannied also. But I nannied 2 Asian kids from Hong Kong.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. It was a great job. They were great. They were 2 boys. They were awesome. I mean,
that's not common for men to nanny.
Yeah, he was a
no.
nanny.
So my sister got me the job. I can't even believe they let me, and I was just wild with them. You know what I mean? Like every day, I did something on accident that made them cry. I was always wrestling them, roughhousing with them, and they were the sweetest boys. I've always played this game where I'd gather all the pillows in the living room, and I would just have them run back and forth, and I would just throw pillows at them as hard as I could and try to knock them down. They loved it. I loved it. Dude, killed 2 hours of nannying, but someone always like their head bounced off the wall or bad shit happened.
Someone took a pellet to the eye.
Did you ever do that game with your kids? Throw pillows at them, make them cry?
No, I don't make my kids cry.
It was an accident.
Multiple
anyway,
accidents.
So I sent in that application and was just kind of like, whatever. I threw my name in the hat.
Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. And then it was probably like a solid month, maybe. It was probably like a month later. I got a call from a casting director in California. He's like, hey, came across your application. I think you're exactly what we're looking for because we're looking for like normal people and not just like owners.
Not pole dancers.
They say pole dancers.
So he ended up.
You kind of suck, so we're picking you.
That was literally what it felt like. And it felt like, so he put together a little. Now I did have, I'd done some Spartan races. I'd done my first 50 miler like a couple weeks before I sent that application in. So I kind of had like, I was kind of an athlete. But I was, obviously pretty normal.
And that's pretty that's a hardcore athlete, but it's pretty one-dimensional for most people. If you're running 50 milers, like you're way out on one spectrum.
Yeah.
You think,
For the most part. You don't seem like Titan Games material to me if I heard that and had never seen you.
Yeah. I don't know. But he basically, video called me and like put together a little introduction video, and he said he was pitching it to the casting directors, and like he'd let me know what they said. I was like, cool. I ended up getting in, and they had everybody come out like I think it was like 2 months before the actual filming. They had everybody come out for a combine. So
and where is that? Where was that?
This was in LA.
Okay.
So they flew everybody out there, and they were going to narrow it down to 64. But they probably flew out like just over 100, 110, 120 people maybe.
Wow.
And I showed up to that. They had us all put up in a hotel. And I showed up to that hotel, and all these people are walking around like all super strong and muscular. And I was like, okay, this is a joke. Like, I don't even know why I'm here. Like, they just brought me here just to like relax, like whatever. But then like during the combine, there were like 5 aspects to it. They did like a max deadlift. They did like monkey bars, a treadmill thing. And then the 5th thing was an interview. And I think that probably helped me some, because I'm kind of like I think I can talk and like, homeschooled preacher's daughter, homeschooled. That probably helped too. Yeah. So I ended up getting on the show.
Didn't take any vaccines when you were little that retarded your growth. I'm just guessing. I'm not a doctor. I'm just guessing.
Yeah. I did just fine.
How was your deadlift?
I think that week I found out that there was going to be a max deadlift test, and I had never really done a max deadlift. So I was like, I think my max deadlift, I think it was like 205. And then
you weren't a deadlifter. It's not like you deadlifted like once a month, or it wasn't part of your regimen.
Nope.
Did you even know how to deadlift? Was anyone like,
yes,
hey, keep your back flat? You did?
So I had started like 6 months before that. I'd started going to a gym and told them like, I don't know what I'm doing. Can y'all help me? And that's the gym that I ended up coaching at. I've been a part of for the past 4 years.
Is that Grifters? Is that Kenny's gym?
That is Kenny's gym. Is called Grit Fitness.
Grit Fitness.
Grit Fitness. Yes.
And Kenny was the one who 6 months earlier started training you with.
Yes.
Caleb, can we see Kenny? I got some links in the notes just to show off, because some people don't research before they have her on. Okay, so 6 months before you started dabbling with the deadlift.
I started doing like some workouts, and I was training some with him. And then so he helped me. He was like, well, we should do a first deadlift, So I did a 205, and I think at the combine, that was a really bad video to pick.
Hey, I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. I was about to say I could do that shit. That's pretty cool.
Pretty funny. Yep, that's it. So, and I think at the combine, I actually like PR'd. I think I got like a 215.
Wow.
That was it.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good.
Do you deadlift a lot now in your training? Like back squat, deadlift, strict press? You hit all your major ones? No.
I don't do a lot of conventional weightlifting.
I really like the pictures. Caleb, you know me. Just any picture with the dude with his shirt off, he just picks. I just love it. Okay, and is he so you're not with that group anymore? Rockstar Kenny and the Grifters.
I don't live there anymore, but I would say I'm still very much a part of their group, their community. They're a good group, and I've been a part of it for a long time. So I think it's harder to just kind of cut ties and out. But does he still program for you? Does he program for you? He's never really programmed a whole lot for me. He's kind of just helped me with like workouts and things to do, and just a lot of. I mean, I feel like he's giving me a lot more of like just training, growing as like a human more than as an athlete. But I think I
don't know what you mean. Tell me what do you mean? Tell me what you mean. I'm not following you.
Okay, he's a very he like owns a gym, is very much, a part of that whole fitness world. But I from being there, you cannot have a fitness without a good, or you can, but fitness kind of falls flat if you don't have a good mindset to go with it. And so he has very much helped me grow as a person, in my mindset, in the way I view the world, all kinds of things. Like, he's just a top-notch guy and has been a very good friend and mentor, really. He definitely got me started in everything. Like he was like, hey, well, we need to like test your 1 mile. We did a little bit of like heart rate training, like run long and keep your heart rate low. Just different basic stuff, but just, I think more than that, he's just been a good human in my life.
Show off time. We need like a button to push every time I'm gonna show off. Oh, you were training your 1 mile time, Kris. Yes, your 1 mile time. You got a 5:24 on can't even 5:24 on February 2021. Is that the last time you've tested it? I just see here in my note.
Yeah, that's definitely the last time.
Congratulations. That's 2 minutes faster than my fastest 1 mile time that I got in I think my senior year.
That's a great time. I also
crazy
own a gym.
a good time, Souza.
Yeah.
So what's your fastest time?
5:55.
Yeah, it's a great time.
And I also own a gym, Kris. I also own a gym. Just if we're
Awesome.
Showing off and throwing things out there.
Yeah. And your guy Kenny has steered people to a better life, and a few of Souza's clients have started doing heroin through the pandemic. But
it's the population. I don't know.
Are they classes? Is it like I'm picturing it kind of like as a CrossFit gym that I know. Like people go in there, there's classes, then there's other people, there's open gym time, and people go in there and like practice their pistols or bar muscle ups or whatever, their deadlifts.
It's very much, it was kind of started from OCR. So he kind of found OCR, tried some OCR, him and his buddy started this basically like a boot camp, and then it kind of evolved into a gym. So it's now like it's group classes. There's a daily WOD. There's somebody that'll, coach through it, and everybody does it together. Very CrossFit style. The biggest thing is that it's very much not CrossFit because we don't use barbells in our regular programming. So it's CrossFit minus barbells basically. And then a lot of the open gym is filled with a bunch of obstacles because that's kind of the fun thing to do. So,
yeah, that is fun. I'd love that. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know what Rich Holton is saying here, Johnny Depp, but let's run with this theme a little bit. Have you been watching any of the trial?
No, I've mostly just seen the memes.
Yeah, me too. I haven't watched any of the trial either. The memes.
My knowledge of it.
Man, what a trippy world we live in. Oh, what's next? We've had you for an hour and 45 minutes. Someone must have to pee. Let's wrap this up. What's next? What do you do next?
Next, I'm kind of following 2 OCR series this year. So I'm doing those both finish out in the next couple months. And
the Spartan one you talked about.
Spartan one, I'm now tied for 3rd in the series. So I have, tied for 3rd with the most points. And then the other one is a Savage race. And that's my preferred style of OCR because they are that mandatory obstacle completion. Everything they do is more like innovative and creative. It's a smaller brand, but it's like a well-run brand. So
can I see that, Caleb?
Yeah, I probably have a lot of pictures of that.
Savage, or just maybe go to their website. I'm curious to see them. I haven't heard of them. Are they the people?
So
go ahead.
They're kind of based more on the East Coast. They're kind of based, I think, out of Florida, and they do them kind of up that East Coast. The farthest west they come is Texas. So
are these events, these OCR events, are the women and men treated equally, like at them?
Yes, at these ones, everything is the same for men and women. There is actually, I guess, one, they basically have like a wall ball with a target throw, and the women have a slightly lighter weight than the men. But other than that, everything is equal. Any kind of heavy carry they do, any kind of drag, anything is equal.
Prize money?
Yep, prize money is very equal.
Oh, look at, there's the, wow, that guy done good. That guy's either done really well or that's the guy who gives out the awards at the end. Wow.
All those axes on his right arm are like age group placements probably. So.
Did who won Titan? Was that Danny? Who won? Did Danny Spiegel win Titan games?
Good question. Margot Alvarez?
Margot.
Last year it was Charity Witt, and I didn't really follow it the first year. The first year that I was on it was Charity Witt. I'm not really sure who won this last time.
And did Matt Chan ever win it? That thing happened more than once. That Titan thing is still going on.
I think the first time went really well, and it really blew up.
Yeah, Matt Chan.
Oh yeah,
Danny Spiegel.
Yeah.
Friends of the show.
Yes, yeah, both. But yeah, definitely a friend of the show. Danny Spiegel. The I invited her on the show, but she said that forget what I shouldn't say what her response is, but she declined. She declined.
Couldn't imagine why.
Are you like shit? Maybe I should have declined too. What did Christian how did Christian sell you this show? What did they say to you? But let's
Well-
indulge my listeners and myself a little bit. How did you end up here?
He said that that y'all wanted to have me on, and
Yes.
I had actually heard of it before. I think I listened to the last episode that Hunter was on, so I was like, oh, I kind of heard of it, and then I think just last night I kind of looked into it, and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of a big deal. Like,
Oh, okay.
it's probably
You weren't
one of the
scared. You weren't
largest
like,
platforms.
this is he just abuses the people.
Well,
He has
I
a
actually
potty
like.
mouth.
I saw your Instagram and I saw your kids' Instagram, and I was like, all right, they're doing something right. So
Okay, good.
That Instagram's still working wonders for us.
Did you hear that, Mom? I know my mom's watching right now. Did you hear that, Mom? A wholesome young lady saw my accounts and was willing to come on the show. My mom wishes I was a
That's
gentler, kinder soul.
yeah, don't they all?
You
That
should
is
have
the
answered and said, "I'm only here so I don't get fined."
I was at the beach all day, and I was sincerely dreading doing this podcast. I did one this morning that was 2 hours, and then I organized this one. I sort of dread doing all the podcasts, and it was like I'd already partied, I'd been at the beach, I played with my kids, and I came home like 2 hours early. And do you know what the assault bike is?
Yes.
I rode the assault bike for like 20 minutes, and I did I pretended to do some hand cleans, but really I'm just like curling and pushing up. And I'm sweating, and I drank a bunch of water, and then I'd already done a bunch of research on you, but as I was watching one of the more recent podcasts you did with, I shouldn't say who it was with, but you were carrying the podcast. And I was like, and I started, and it was like about 40 minutes before we came on. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm just going to lean on this girl and make her carry the whole damn show. She can carry she's so good. So you're an amazing, you're an amazing guest. You're an amazing human being. I want you to know that the door is always open. You have a great sense of humor. You blew away my expectations. You're so fun, and you're a tremendous role model for all the boys and girls up there, human beings who are growing up. And please thank your parents. Whatever you think about. I want to read you this quote. I read this quote a lot on my show.
It's a good quote.
When your parents are alive, you might wish they behaved different. When they're dead, you will wish you behaved different. Pretend your parents are dead. So, like we get mad at our parents for shit, but really it's like pointless. Like, why do we get mad at them? Like, we just need to stop. And you have tremendous parents. The fact that they were able just to not give you a cell phone till you're 16. I mean, the fact.
Well,
how many kids are afraid? Do you know how many kids are
lived in
afraid?
the backyard. They didn't have to worry about us knowing otherwise.
Right. But some parents they just feel this pressure from their kids and they just give in. But there are some really obvious things. You're not afraid to be alone, and we live in this. I would even go out on a limb and say it might even be your preferred state, and that's how we should be as human beings. Every human needs 6 square miles to themselves.
That would do a lot of good for this entire world.
We would love everyone when we saw them.
Mhm.
Instead, New York City has 442,000 human beings for every square mile, when we need 6 square miles. I think I learned that from Joel Salatin. Anyway, if you ever want to come on the show, I will send you, we have your email. I will send over my phone number. Then if anyone ever asked you have his phone number, you're like, yeah, duh. And you're always welcome on. Anything you want to promote, you want to talk. And I sincerely mean that. Some of our best guests in the show, like Hunter, will just reach out. He just comes on out of the blue. Rich Froning comes on just out of the blue. Most of our guests just come on out of the blue. Like you just came out of the blue. So you're always welcome to insert yourself. And I set my Google alerts to follow you, so Matt and I will know your every movement. And thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys very much for having me on. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Blast.
Kris Rugloski.